There are more than 1 billion Excel users worldwide, but 99% of them have no idea what it's really capable of. I'll show you how a few foundational skills can help you take your Excel game to the next level. Hi everyone, Enrique here from Maven Analytics, and in this demo I'll show you how to use tools like formulas, pivot tables, and charts to transform raw data into dynamic, interactive dashboards. And these are skills that anyone can build, whether you're a professional analyst or just a casual spreadsheet user. Now, I want you to close your eyes and imagine that you work as an entry-level analyst for a local toy store. Your manager reached out and needs you to create a dashboard to better understand revenue patterns. So things like weekday versus weekend revenue, monthly trending, and top products. So let's download the data, fire up Excel, and get it done. Now here in Excel, you'll see that we're working with data on two separate sheets. We have sales records in this table here with the date, product ID, and the units sold. And we also have a products tab that has additional information on each product ID, like the product name, product category, and price. Now let's head back to the sales tab and use formulas and functions to create calculated columns that we need for our dashboard. Now we know that our manager needs the revenue split on weekdays versus weekends, but all we have right now is the full date for each of these sales. So let's start by extracting the day of the week from each of these with the weekday function. I'm going to create a new column here, right click, insert. Let's call this day of the week. Let's resize. And let's write the weekday function. You'll see that the first argument is the serial number, and that's a weird way of saying that we need to point it at the date that we want to extract the day of the week from. Comma over to the return type argument, and you'll see that we have several options. I'm going to arrow down to the second option here so that we're displaying numbers 1, which is Monday, through 7, which is Sunday. I can tab to apply, close the weekday function, press enter, and you'll see that we get a weird date in the year 1900 here, but don't panic. Excel is just trying to be smart and borrowed the date formatting from this date here. All we need to do, change this to general, and it looks like January 1st, 2017 was a Sunday. So we can double click on the bottom right corner, apply the formula down. And that's all great, but what we need to do now is categorize these days of the week into weekdays and weekends. And that's a perfect use case for an if statement. I'm going to add another column. Let's call this day type. And what we need to ask ourselves is if the day of the week is greater than or equal to 6, so if it's a Saturday or a Sunday, well then the value of true will be that that is a weekend. And because we want to return text, we need to make sure to wrap it in quotation marks. Now if it isn't greater than or equal to 6, well then that must mean it's a weekday. Again, between quotations, close our if function, press enter. Sunday is in fact on the weekend, apply it down. Monday is a weekday, so it looks like this is working properly. Now we could keep both of these columns, but we only really needed this first one as an intermediate step. So what we can do is actually copy the formula here without the equal sign, and we can replace the cell reference to the day of the week with the formula that calculates the day of the week. Press enter, we still get weekend, apply it down, same exact results, and now we can delete this column. I can select it, Control minus, and we're one step closer. Now another thing we need are the top revenue generating products. So let's use another formula to look up the product details from the product tab for each of these product IDs. I'm going to add 3 new columns here, insert the first one, and I can press F4 to repeat the action. We want 3 new columns because we want to look up the product name, product category, and price. Let's copy this. You can paste the values over here, Control Shift V, and let's maybe resize these 2 columns. Now to grab the corresponding information for each product ID, we can use the XLOOKUP function. Now the lookup value is this one right here, the product ID. We want to look for this 31 in this lookup array over here in the product IDs in the products tab. It's going to look for 31, find it down here, and then we want to return is splash balls in this case, which is part of the product name return array. Close that, press enter, and we do get splash balls. Now before I apply this down, I also want to be able to copy it to the product category and the product price. So all we need to do before that is think about our cell references. Our lookup value is always going to live in column D, because as we apply this to the right, we want this reference to stay right here, but as we apply it down, we do want it to move from row to row. So we want a fixed column, but a relative row. Press D2, and press F4 to cycle between the reference types. We have fully fixed here, fixed row, and fixed column, which is exactly what we want. So that's the first step. Now for this reference, for the lookup array, we do always want to be looking for these product IDs in column A of the products tab, because that's where those product IDs live. We're going to fix that column. And for our second reference here, we actually want to leave that one relative because we want to return column B for the product name, but then we want to return column C for the product category and then D for the price. So let's leave that relative, press enter, we still get splash balls. As we apply this to the right, we get sports and outdoors and $8.99. So now we can select all of them, apply them down, and we have our product details for each product ID in the sales tab. Now we're almost done, just one more calculated column. Remember, this is a revenue dashboard, so we need to calculate, you guessed it, the revenue for each of these records. Simple enough, we just need to multiply price by units. We can go ahead and format this as currency. We could do this, we could select currency here as well, but pro tip, Control-1 opens up the Format Cells dialog box, go to currency, let's keep the 2 decimal places, press OK, and apply it down. So now we have all the columns and all the data that we need. It's time to perform exploratory data analysis using pivot tables to get the summarized information that our manager is looking for. So to do that, with any cell in the table selected, go to Insert, Pivot Table. Let's add it to a new worksheet, press OK. And the first thing we want is the revenue split on weekdays versus weekends. So let's go ahead and grab our new date type column, place that in the rows. So we have weekday and weekend, and we want to calculate the revenue for each one. So let's grab our revenue field, drag it into the values, and you'll see that we've made around $160,000 on weekdays and about $99,000 on weekends. And if we want to know what percentage of the grand total each of these represents, well, that's very easy. Right-click, Show Values As, Percent of Grand Total. Go ahead and format these, right-click, Number Format, Percentage, let's maybe remove the decimal places, press OK, and it looks like 62% of our revenue comes from weekdays, 38% comes from weekends. Now up next, we want the month-over-month revenue trend. So let's copy this, paste it over here. Let's get rid of the date type and revenue from our pivot table here. And you may be wondering, well, why didn't we calculate a month column, right? Because we want the month-over-month trend. Well, here's the cool thing about pivot tables. You can drag the date field into the rows of a pivot table, and it will automatically group those dates into years, quarters, months, and keep the underlying date. Now for this analysis, we only want the years and the months, so let's get rid of everything else. Let's bring our revenue back into our values, and we can simply expand these years to take a look at the months, maybe format these as well. Currency, no decimal places. Press OK. And we have our monthly trend. It looks like we made about $11,000 in September, which is down from the $12,000 that we made in August. Now finally, we want to calculate the top revenue generating product. So let's copy this pivot table one more time, paste it over here, remove the years, the months. We still want the sum of revenue, but broken down by product name. So we have the revenue for all of our products, but we only want the top revenue generating products. Let's go ahead and apply a value filter here for the top 10, and let's only keep the top 5. Press OK. We can go ahead and sort these from top to bottom as well. Go to more sort options, and then do descending by sum of revenue. And there we go. It looks like Lego bricks is our top seller, followed by color buds. So just like that, we have all the information that our manager asked for, but we're not done yet, because if we want to communicate all of this clearly, then we need to visualize this data with charts and graphs. Now for our first pivot table, we're looking at parts of a whole. So it makes sense to visualize this with a pie chart. So again, with any cell in the pivot table selected, go to Insert. You'll see we've got pie here. And let's insert a 2D pie chart. Now Excel admittedly doesn't have the best default formatting, but we can make a few tweaks that will make this much more effective. So let's get rid of these field buttons over here. Pivot chart, analyze, field buttons. We can change the chart title. Let's maybe add some data labels here. You'll see we have the percentages. And if we go to right click, format the data labels, we can add the category name as well so that we can get rid of our legend. Let's maybe just apply a few more formatting tweaks to our data labels here. Go back to these options. Let's make the separator a new line instead. Let's place these in the center, and let's make the text white and bold. So there we go, we have our pie chart. Let's move this over to the side here and think about how we can visualize this next pivot table. Now this is using time series data, and the best way to show these kinds of trends is with a line chart. So again, any cell selected, insert, got the lines here, insert a 2D line chart, and let's apply some formatting as well. Get rid of the field buttons, change the title. We don't need this legend, and we can get rid of the grid lines as well. So that's 2 out of 3. Now for this next pivot table, we can compare these values by using a simple bar chart. So let's go to Insert, Column, 2D bar, and again, let's remove the field buttons, change the title, remove the legend, and you'll see that these are in ascending order, but we had them in descending order in our pivot table. That's normal for bar charts in Excel. Don't worry, all you need to do, select the axis, go to the axis options, and check categories in reverse order. And we can add some data labels here as well, which means we can get rid of these grid lines, this axis, and we're all set. So we have all 3 charts. Now all that's left to do is put these together to build an interactive dashboard. I'm going to hold Shift, select all 3, press Ctrl X to cut, add a new sheet here, paste them in here, and let's arrange these into a dashboard. Now pro tip, what you can do is actually hold the Alt key and it will snap the object to the grid. So let's maybe place this one over here. Let's bring our top products next to it right here, and maybe bring the revenue underneath them all. And once we have these all in place, we can get rid of these grid lines. Go to View, uncheck grid lines, and maybe we can get rid of the borders around these charts as well. Go to Format, no outline, no outline, no outline. So we have our dashboard now, but it's not interactive, at least not yet. And the good thing here is that because these are all tied to pivot tables, what we can do is select them, go to Pivot Chart Analyze, and we can add a slicer. So let's say that maybe we want to filter by product category. Let's add that slicer in here. And we can use this to filter. So let's select Games. And you'll see that it's only filtering this chart right now that we used to create the slicer. No worries, in the slicer options, you can go to Report Connections, connect it to all 3 of the pivot tables, and now they are all being filtered with our slicer. So we can remove the filters. Let's maybe select Toys. We can hold Control, select Toys and Sports and Outdoors, and we have a fully interactive dashboard. Isn't that great? Now we could leave things like that, or if we get creative and apply a little bit more formatting magic, then voila, a beautiful interactive report all built within Excel. Let's go ahead and hide the ribbon here, show this in full screen, and look how easy it is to understand our data now. 62% of our revenue comes from weekdays, Lego bricks is our top selling product, and it makes almost as much as our next two products combined. It looks like we had a slow August and September after a peak in July. And if we filter, say, to tech, you'll see that almost 3/4 of our revenue here comes from weekdays. Color buds are our top seller by far, and it looks like we have a worrying decreasing trend in revenue that we should probably start to look into. And there you have it. In under 20 minutes, we were able to add calculated columns using formulas and functions, perform exploratory data analysis using pivot tables, visualize that data using charts and graphs, and then tie it all together in an interactive dashboard, all within good old Microsoft Excel. If you're excited to learn more and build job-ready skills, check out our Excel Specialist path, which covers formulas, charts, pivot tables, dashboard design, and much more. You can also explore our entire suite of self-paced courses, guided projects, and portfolio tools, and create your own personalized learning plan for free. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more data content just like this, and I'll see you in the next one.